Hello, we are Team Reinventive, and our project is called Polemical Marine. I am Jakaria Shine, the project manager and coordinator, and it was my job to organize our documents, thought process, and research for our problem and solution.
I'm Audis Vega, the marketing manager and creative design lead, and it was my job to create a timeline for our project and think of innovative marketing strategies.
For our project, we decided to use the engineering design process to design our product and initiative. Step one of the engineering design process is to identify and define the solution. We thought of known problems worldwide and water pollution as a result of agriculture. Because I am a biotechnology student and Audis is an engineering student. So we thought that it would be great for us to use our knowledge and expertise to make a solution.
To aid us in pinpointing a specific problem, I did research into relevant issues in agriculture, and together we created an extensive pro and con list about each issue. After comparing the links of pros and cons on each issue, we picked a specific problem to solve, which is local ground runoff from the nitrogen in fertilizer, because we are passionate about the problem and no tangible solution had been found.
After doing this research and relaying the information to Audis, I went to the internet to find a creative clip to better demonstrate the problem.
With the constant talk about ways to lower pollution within our planet's water system, there tends to be a topic that most do not realize causes harm and is often overlooked. What is that, you may ask? Well, the proper term is agricultural runoff. This pollutant started when factory farming was preferred over organic farming. Often on factory farms, there are thousands of animals kept in captivity, and the usage of harsh fertilizers and chemicals on crops. This led to a mass production of food, but also a mass production of waste that is not being managed properly. We call this waste agricultural runoff, which includes harsh chemical fertilizers and many traces of manure from cows, pigs, and other animals. These components find their way into all categories of water, globally in our oceans, within some of our largest rivers, and in small local ponds and lakes. But who consumes this water? People, all of us do.
After doing research, we quickly realized that runoff contamination was more prominent during modern gardening on the local scale because of over-fertilization by unknowing gardeners that pollute their neighborhoods.
With the
Step 2 of the engineering design process is to gather information. After I did research on the effects that runoff contaminated water has on people and their neighborhoods, I gathered information about where the problem is the most dire in the world and in the United States.
These were some statistics that stood out to us. As of June 2022, over 2,858 neighborhoods in all 50 states are known to be contaminated with nitrogen pollution in the United States of America.
Up to 80% of illnesses in the developing world are linked to inadequate water and sanitation.
By 2025, 1.8 billion people will be living in countries or regions with absolute water and nutrient scarcity because of cross-contamination from runoff, according to the UN Water. Step 3 of the engineering design process is to identify possible solutions that prevent nitrogen runoff locally, which contaminates neighborhood water supplies.
I created a conclusive list of the aspects and requirements that our solution must have based on the problems that Jakaria outlined in her research, while taking functionality, practicality, and competition-specific requirements into consideration. As shown above, we drew our own interactions with the device, and I digitally merged them.
This system is composed of a complex arrangement of hollow membrane filters built on the outskirts of the plantation container with the plant and soil in the center. Together, we work to create and build a prototype of the filtration system and contaminant detection device for the initiative to mimic the system's impact on a larger scale.
The prototype has complex layering to filter nitrogen and other contaminants.
The first is a textile pre-filter. This filters out bigger particles like dirt and sediment.
Next, the water passes through the hemp filter. Reportedly, this filter out clusters of bacteria.
From there, the water moves through a chamber of beads that are saturated with iodine. The iodine kills parasites and 99.3% of bacteria and viruses, which we concluded later after the testing phase.
And finally, the water passes through a chamber of granulated active carbon, which filters out any remaining parasites.
After making one contaminant detection device, we created 11 others using our Arduino kit and a 2-person manufacturing line. We put a lot of effort into making sure that the prototypes were consistent and could be manufactured quickly. The first device took us 3 hours to solder and connect functionally, but afterwards it was much easier, with the rest taking 3 more hours to make.
After making the functional contaminant detection device that detected impurities in water, we needed to make smaller, compact prototypes of our layered contaminant structure to test the successes of the layer filtration system, along with one of our friends who donated the potting containers.
Here's a close-up image of our very first filtration system that we made inside of a potting container. After making this prototype, I proposed the idea that future iterations should be made inside of clear potting containers to better showcase the layered system.
Inside of the zoomed-in microscope photos are photographs from the runoff water on top of the soil, which runs off of the leaves and seeps into the soil, flagging our first detection device, turning lights red, then traveling down the filtration system until the water has no contaminants and runs into the environment cleanly.
I took samples of this water and put it on slides like the one on the bottom right to compare under the microscope, which is what you are seeing. The top circular photo contains bacteria and nitrogen, whereas the bottom circular photo has water clean enough to drink.
Step 5 is to evaluate and test the prototype. Even though we tested the prototype functionality while in the field, it is still crucial to test the results with a wider audience to observe the results and ensure that it works consistently.
During the testing phase, we supplied the testers on the left with 3 kits to make their own system and provided them with instructions on how to water and fertilize their plants using the color-coded fertilizers.
It was crucial for the fertilizers to be changed each week so that half a week later, the testers can document the way the readings change on the lights linked to the detection device. We also had each tester test different plants to test that the system works on plants native to different countries.
Here's a video from one of our test sessions of our tester watering the plant and the readings that appeared on the monitor. In the photo on the right is the detection device below the filtration system, which is blue. Below the filtration system, the result is green, meaning that the water is uncontaminated by fertilizer, bacteria, and protists, which you can see on the right photo.
Step 6 of the engineering design process is to refine the design, which is to improve the product based on the results from the testing phase.
Since the results from the prototyping and testing phase moved so swimmingly, we began planting it inside of larger containers inside of Audice's garden using blood meal as fertilizer. After digging up some plants that had already been grown and planting seeds of our own.
Since we are careful to water them, we water and fertilize the ones in the front normally and over-fertilize the ones in the back, resulting in bacteria buildup at the top of the soil that never makes it to the environment after going through the filtration system. The final step is to communicate the engineering design process with experts and implementing change if necessary.
Before we even finished our prototype, since it takes a long time for plants to grow from cutlings, we quickly met with our lead experts to discuss our proposal and how far we had gotten in the engineering design process, which was helpful. They gave us confidence in our design and input into how our system is needed and could be made.
After that, we met with as 18 of their colleagues at a meeting discussing the Texas Youth Institute, which was held in March of 2023. The board uses as an example of the project that the youth presents annually at the Institute.
The feedback that we received was incredible and motivated us to continue our project in the future. All of our alterations were to our presentation and notebook to improve clarity, but our prototype was ready to go, which was a blessing. Audis and I worked together through every single step of the way because we understood that if we did not execute our roles, then the other could not do theirs. Although it was challenging sometimes, we quickly learned that coming together to discuss what we had learned and what I had researched and what she had found some innovative and creative twist on was the highlight of our partnership.
We could not have done this without each other, but we could have not done this without our classmate who helped us by donating materials and an extra set of hands with equipment. These are our resources for this presentation.
Now, we would like to do a quick demonstration of what our system would look like. Here, inside of the filtration, you can actually see the filtration system on the inside. And here is soil. And here is a lovely thriving plant. And here is our actually very compact and very slim Polemical Marine System detection device. Lastly, we would like to say thank you so much for listening. We appreciate every single one of you guys, especially our donors and our supporters, for making our system and initiative possible.